right, guys, Multigen Mindset, multigenmindset.com. Check it out. There's online programs, masterminds. You can get a free breakdown, short summary of my book, Starting Where You're At, Be Great Where You Are. There's tons of resources on there for you, tons of these videos. I make as many of these videos as possible, even if it's just me chatting for a few minutes about something that I think can help you. This particular video is timelining, how to build a timeline. You normally start with 6 months and then a year, and you can go all the way out to 3 years. I don't really prefer 3 years. I prefer 6 months to a year. I'm a short to mid-term thinker. Life, however, is a long-term investment. But when it comes to ambition and motivation, having a 6 month to a 1 year timeline to where you have your ambitions and your goals lined up on that timeline so you can see how they flow together. And it also, when you put things down on paper, it will show you how these things will flow into completion. So my timeline goes out for 12 months and it extends to 3 years. And every one of my motivations, every one of my ambitions is timelined on that thing, and they mesh together and it shows you exactly how things are going to be done. There's a secret power to putting things down on paper. And the time that you spend and putting something down on paper, creatively thinking about what it is you want to accomplish and why is one of the most important things of why you want to accomplish this thing. It activates your creativity and your faith. And a lot of times it gives you clarity and insight into some of the things that you're working on. One of the biggest and greatest results of timelining is being able to eliminate things that you thought that you were actually passionate about, but then find out that this thing's not for you. And when it comes to your time and energy, it's vital that the things that you invest time and energy in, and I use that word very carefully because your life is literally an investment into changing our globe and the world that we live in. And in Multigen Mindset, one of the things that we like to teach the most is thinking about your life as an investment into future generations. And that means that every minute of every single day, you're expending energy and you're expending time, which you have a limited amount of, on things that will create results. And so you need to think about what you're spending your time on. If you're at the bars, at the clubs all the time, and instead of the library, that investment of time is going to yield a certain result. Just like the stock market, just like a business. You invest money in something and it gives you a certain result. And so I want you to start thinking about your time as an investment. If you're investing time in a friend, it shows you what you value. So what you put your time into shows you your value systems. And so by building timelines, putting all your ambitions and your goals on that timeline will help you evaluate what you value most. And if you find out that you have an ambition to do this, and you have an ambition to accomplish this, and you have an ambition to accomplish this, but then you realize that on a day-to-day basis, you're not actually investing time in those particular goals, you realize that you're obviously not valuing that ambition very much. So timelining is extremely powerful. And I always suggest that you invest time in building it. I think it was Jim Rohn, I'm not sure, maybe it was Benjamin Franklin, that said that every 10 minutes that you spend in planning saves you an hour in execution. So let's say that again. Every 10 minutes that you spend in planning saves you an hour in execution. So preparation breeds success. Success is attracted to preparation. Seeing yourself accomplishing something before you do it is one of the most powerful things that you can do. For example, you have a business meeting and you're meeting this person and you want to accomplish this deal. And so before the meeting, what do? You take some time to visualize yourself in that meeting, closing the deal. You imagine how your attitude will be during the meeting. You pre-plan things that you're going to say, make bullet point lists of things that are valuable about this deal. You see yourself accomplishing it before it's done. Timelining helps you do that. It helps you get in that imaginary place of seeing something accomplished before it's done. And this is extremely powerful because nobody has ever accomplished anything that they haven't first saw themselves do. One of my favorite quotes is that every man is a creation of their own thinking and imagination. What that means is your life is an exact picture of what you pictured in your mind. Today, how you woke up, you created that. The situation that you're in right now, I don't like situation, the word itself, because it sounds negative and drama filled. But it does mean that how your life is today, your financial system, your bank accounts, the clothing that you're wearing, the body that you're in, health-wise, everything about this moment of your particular life, you created in your mind. And you did that through expectations. Expectations are huge, man, because expectations basically create what you attract. So check this out. When it comes to targeting, expectations determine what you both accomplish and what you bring to yourself. So if I have an expectation to have an amazing freaking wife, and that's my target, and I know what qualities I want in that woman and what qualities I require, I won't lower my target. So if I expect to be extremely successful in business, and I see myself being successful in business, and I see myself accomplishing great deals and making a huge impact, then I can now carry that out. But if I can't see it up here first, I can't create it. And I know it's silly, but the song that R. Kelly did, I Believe I Can Fly, listen to those lyrics, man. He says, if I can see it, I can do it. I think about it every night and day. I see myself walking through that open door, I believe I can fly. He's talking about seeing yourself accomplishing something before you accomplish it. Timelining puts you in the mindset to be able to do that. And so when you create a timeline and you're like, laying out your ambitions and laying out your goals, and you're dead set on these things and they line up with your value system, then you're going to be able to accomplish those things a lot easier and a lot faster. One thing that you'll learn is that when you do create, let's say you create a 12-month timeline and you have 4 main goals on that timeline, what happens is you'll realize that you'll start creating momentum in those things faster than the timeline. So you'll actually start creating momentum that brings those things into fruition before it's actually done on the timeline. So as an example, I have my timeline for you guys, and it goes out to about 12 months, and I have every one of my ambitions and my goals on the timeline. And so this is how I live my life, and this is how I accomplish things, and every one of my ambitions and every one of my goals is on this timeline. And I always notice that I start building the momentum needed to accomplish the thing faster than it is on the timeline. And it's that powerful. So always invest time in planning. Timelining is planning, and basically you're preparing. And so if you're going to prepare for a sports event, if you're going to prepare for a speech, the more preparation you put in, the easier the success comes. That's why it's so important to timeline. A few other points is that you have to understand what's driving you and why you want to accomplish something. So having your whys outlined is important. It took me 15 years to really define why I do what I do. At first I thought it was just because I wanted to be rich. And then I realized I don't want to be rich. I want to have a family that has all the experiences that they deserve. And I want children that I can put to the best colleges. I can take them on vacations. I want to be able to get my wife nice things. I don't want to have a life of worry and stress. I grew up poor. My family, we had 2 sides of our family. I always talk about this. We had a wealthy side and a poor side, and I knew both. I wanted my family to have everything that they deserved and more. And so I realized that that was part of my why. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. And when I defined that, I gained so much clarity that my ambition started pulling me forward rather than me pushing and pushing and pushing. So putting things on a timeline is so powerful. I highly suggest you guys start working on it. And you have so much potential in you that it's just insane. And when it comes to the last point is when it comes to expectations, we always expect less of ourselves than we can actually accomplish. And timelines help you realize that, because when you put things on a timeline and you start seeing that you're accomplishing those things faster than it's actually on the timeline, it actually shows you your potential. And so I just encourage you guys, think big, make big goals and big dreams, and go for it, man. Take this life by the horns and do everything you possibly can do every day, and do it as great as you possibly can. Multigenmindset.com. You guys be strong. Talk to you later.